Monday. This video game ban is a whole lot tougher than I thought it would be. But at least I'm not the only one in the family who's in trouble. Roderick's in some hot water with Mom right now, too. Manny got a hold of one of Roderick's heavy metal magazines, and one of the pagers had a picture of a woman bike in a bikini laying across the hood of a car, and Manny brought it into daycare for show and tell. Anyways, I don't think Mom was too happy about that. And getting a phone call. I saw the magazine myself, and it honestly wasn't anything to get worked up over. But Mom doesn't allow that kind of stuff in the house. Roddick's punishment is that he had to answer a bunch of questions Mom wrote down for him. Did owning this magazine make you a better person? No. Did it make you more popular at school? No. How do you feel having own such type of a magazine now? I feel ashamed. Do you have anything you want to say to women for having owned an offensive magazine? I'm sorry, women. Wednesday. I'm still grounded from playing video games, so Manny has been using my system. Mom went out and bought a whole bunch of educational video games, and watching Manny play them is like torture. What number comes after 2 and rhymes with 3? 3. The good news is I finally figured out how to get some of my games past Raleigh's dad. I just put one of my discs in Manny's Discovering Alphabet case. That's all it takes. Thursday at school today, they announced that a new student government elections are coming up. To be honest with you, I've never had any interest in student government. But when I started thinking about it, I totally getting excited about treasure could totally change my situation at school. We cheerleaders, we are tired of riding to games in the same bus and the nerds on the same bus. Let me see what I can do. And even better, we jocks just need an air pump to inflate our only football. Yeah, sorry, can't help you with that. Nobody ever thinks about me running for treasurer because anyone ever cares about is the big ticket positions like president, vice president. So I figure I'll sign up tomorrow. Treasurer job is pretty much mine for the taking. Friday. Today I went to put my name on the list to run for treasurer. Unfortunately, this kid named Marty Porter is running for treasurer too, and he's a real big brainy at math. So this might not be as easy as I thought. I told Dad that I was running for student government, and he seemed pretty excited. Turns out he ran for student government when he was my age. He actually won. Dad dug out an old box in the basement, and we found one of his campaign posters. Integrity, honest, know-how. Vote for Frank Heffley for secretary. Hmm. I thought that poster idea was pretty good, so I asked Dad to drive me to the store to get some supplies. So I loaded up on poster board and markers and spent the rest of the night making campaign stuff. So let's just hope these posters work. Monday. I brought my posters to school today, and I have to say, they came out pretty good. Do you want Marty Porter to be your treasurer? Hey, you're dropping all the money, you fool. Dar. Remember in second grade how Marty Porter had headlights? Itch, itch. Do you really want him touching your money? I started hanging up my posters as soon as I got in, but they were only up for about 3 minutes before Vice Principal Ray spotted them. Mr. Roy. Mr. Roy said you weren't allowed to write fabrications on other candidates. So I told Mr. Roy that the thing about the headlights was true and how it practically closed down the whole school when it happened. But he took down all my posters anyway. So today Marty Porter was going around handing out lollipops to buy himself votes, which my posters were sitting in the bottom of Mr. Roy's trash can. I guess this means my political career is officially over. October. Monday. Well, it's finally October and there's only 30 days left until Halloween. Halloween is my favorite holiday, even though Mom says I'm getting too old for trick or treating anymore. Halloween is Dad's favorite holiday too, but for a different reason. On Halloween night, while the other parents are handing out candy, my dad is hiding in the bushes in a big trash can full of water. And if any teenagers pass the driveway, he drenches them. I'm not sure Dad really understands the concept of Halloween, but I'm gonna be the one to spoil his fun. Trick or treat! Tonight, I was opening the night of the Crossland High School haunted house. and I got Mom to agree to take me and Rowley. Rowley showed up at my house wearing his Halloween costume from last year. When I called him earlier, I told him just to wear regular clothes, but of course he didn't listen. I tried not to let it bother me too much, though. I never been allowed to go to Crossland Haunted House before, and I wasn't going to let Rowley ruin it for me. Roderick had told me all about it, and I've been looking forward to this for about 3 years. Anyway, when I got up to the entrance, I started having second thoughts about going in. Good evening. But my mom seemed to like it. She was in a hurry to get this over with. So she moved us along. Once we were through the gate, it was scare after another. There were vampires jumping out at you, people without their heads, all sorts of crazy stuff. But the worst part was the area called the Chainsaw Alley. There was a really big guy with a hockey mask, and he had a real chainsaw. Roderick told the chainsaw had a rubber blade, but I wasn't taking any chances. Right then, when I looked at the chainsaw guy was going to catch us, Mom stepped in and bailed us out. That's not nice. I'm sorry, ma'am. Mom made the chainsaw should go us where the exit is, and that's the end of our haunted house experience right there. Ugh, I guess it was a little embarrassing when your mom did that, but I'm willing to let it go this one time. Saturday, the Crossland Haunted House really got me thinking. Those guys are charging $5 a pop, a line stretched halfway around the school. I decided to make a haunted house of my own. Actually, I had to bring Rowley into the deal because Mom wouldn't let me convert my first floor into a full-out haunted house mansion. I knew Rowley's dad wouldn't be crazy about the idea either, so we decided to build a haunted house in the basement. Just not mention it to his parents. Me and Rowley spent most of the day coming up with an awesome plan for a haunted house. Here was our plan: Hall of Screams, Lake of Blood, Bottomless Pit, Rat Tunnel, Maze of a Thousand Skulls, Knife Alley, Hand Hall, Death Slide, Acid Lake, Exit. I don't mean to brag or anything, but man, we came with way better than Crossland High School haunted house. Realized we were going to need to get to work, so out what we were doing in this thing. We got some paper and made a bunch of flyers. I'll admit, maybe this stretched the truth a little bit on our advertisement, but we had to make sure people would actually show up. Haunted house with live sharks, 32 Surrey Street, admission 50 cents, 3 p.m. By the time we finished putting flyers up all over the neighborhood and got back to Rowley's basement, it was already 2:30, and we hadn't even started putting the actual haunted house together yet, so we had to cut some corners from our original plan. 3 o'clock, run around and looked outside to see if anyone showed up, and sure enough, there was about 20 neighborhood kids in line outside Raleigh's basement. Now, I know our flyers and admission was only 50 cents, but I could see that we had a chance to make a killing here. So I kid the admission was $2 and the 50-cent thing was just a typo. The first kid caught up to $2 was Shane Shella. He paid his money and let him go inside, and Raleigh took our positions in the Hall of Screams. The Hall of Screams was basically a bed with me and Rowley on either side of it. I guess maybe the Hall of Screams was a little too scary because halfway through, Shane curled up in a ball underneath the bed. We tried to get him out to crawl out from out of there, but he wouldn't budge. I started thinking about all the money we were losing by this kid clogging up our Hall of Screams. I knew we had to get him out of there quick. Eventually, Rowley's dad came downstairs. At first, I was happy to see him because I thought he could help us drag Shane out from under the bed and out of our haunted house again. Riley's dad wasn't really helpful in helping mood. Riley's dad wanted to know what we were doing, and Shane Sneller called up under the bed. We told him the basement was a haunted house and that Shane Shella was actually paid for us to do this to him, but Riley's dad didn't believe us. I admit if you looked around, it didn't really look like a haunted house, and we had time to put together the Hall of Screams and the Lake of Blood, which was just Riley's old baby pool filled with half a bottle of ketchup in it. I tried to show Raleigh's dad our original plan to prove that we're really running a legitimate operation, but he still didn't seem convinced. And then, to make a long story short, that was the end of our haunted house. The good news is, since Raleigh's dad didn't believe us, he didn't make us refund Shane's money, so at least we cleared $2 today. Sunday, Raleigh ended up getting grounded for that haunted house mess yesterday. He's not allowed to watch TV for a week, and he's not allowed to have me over to the house during that time. That part wasn't fair because that's punishing me and I didn't do anything wrong. And now Where am I supposed to play video games? Anyways, I felt kind of bad for Raleigh. So tonight I tried to make it up to him. I turned on one of Raleigh's favorite TV shows and did a play by play over the phone so he could hear the experience in that way. Wow, look at that size of that flamethrower. Oh, yeah, never mind. I did my best to keep up with what was going on the screen. To be honest with you, I'm not sure Raleigh was getting the full effect. I bet this part is going to be funny. Yep. Haha, it was great. It was funny. Tuesday. Well, Raleigh's grounding is finally over. And just in time for Halloween, too. I went up to his house to check on his costume, and I have to admit, I'm a little jealous. Raleigh's mom got him a night costume that's way cooler than his costume from last year. His night suit outfit came with a helmet and a shield and a real sword and everything. I've never had a store bought costume before. I still haven't figured out what I'm going to go as tomorrow night. I'll probably just throw something together last minute. I figure maybe I'll bring back the toilet paper mummy again. But then I think I'm supposed to rain tomorrow night, so that might not be the smartest choice. In the last few years, grown ups in my neighborhood have been getting cranky about the lame costumes, and I'm starting to think I'm actually having an effect on the amount of candy I'm bringing in. What are you supposed to be? A cowboy? Double baseball hats? But I don't really think I have time to pull together a good costume because I'm in charge of planning the best route for Raleigh and I to take tomorrow night. This year I've come up with a plan that's to get us at least twice the candy we scored last year.